Hey guys, Captain Dylan Hubbard here, and we got a great email fishing report for you this week. We're looking forward to lots of good fishing, and we have super light loads, and the weather is looking spectacular right now. Now, next week we potentially might have something tropical brewing. Some models are showing, some of the Euro models are showing a potential for something tropical end of next week around August 30th, August 29th, August 30th, potentially. But the GFS model, Windfinder, is not showing anything right now. So kind of one of those things, it's early. We'll kind of monitor and see how that plays out. But right now, the weekend and the start and really middle of the upcoming work week looks spectacular. And even if something potentially tropical is going to brew at the end of next week, that should make fishing even better over this weekend and the start of the coming work week. Remember, the best fishing is always right ahead of those low pressure systems. So we're almost into that time of year where the cold fronts start. And you know what a cold front is? The same as a low pressure system as a tropical system is. A tropical system, a cold front, they're all low pressure boundaries or fronts, and it makes the fish super excited. That line down the side of the fish, most notably found on a snook. You all see that black line down the side of a snook? Well, every fish has that same line. They're just not as well defined. It's called a lateral line, and that's how the fish senses barometric pressure changes, and it also senses movement in the water around it. So even if they can't see movement, they'll sense it in their lateral line, and that makes the fish super adapt to the weather. So they know when bad weather is coming, and they get super excited. As that bad weather approaches, the fish start feeding super actively because they know that bad weather is going to roll in and then make it really difficult for them to find the fish and find the bait. So they get even more active and hungry as those low pressure systems approach. Then when a low pressure system comes through, that barometer kind of gets stagnant low, weather's real bad, fishing's not so great. Then once the weather clears up and the seas calm down, the wind calms down, things start getting back to normal, those fish get super hungry yet again. So looking forward to those cold fronts starting soon, but next week's potential tropical activity will act the same. It'll get those fish really excited if that does happen to play out, but we're gonna know more through this weekend. We're gonna kind of find out where that goes. But for now, like I said, forecast is super nice. Almost no wind, no waves through this weekend and through the start and really most of next work week. We are coming up on that full moon, looking forward to more dramatic tide flushes, more moving water, more flushing bait, and that'll bring with it more actively feeding fish, especially inshore. We have like our last opportunity here the next week or two for snook. The snooks are gonna start moving, the snook, not an S. The snook are gonna start moving back into the back bay waters more and more. They've been loaded in the passes and on the beaches all summer long. They really start to show up in the spring, hang out all summer. Really, the end of August, the start of September, we start to see noticeable numbers dropping as those snook migrate back into the back protected bay waters and away from their spring and summer spawning areas staged up in the pass. So we still have good numbers of snook around Johns Pass in the early morning, around dock lights and bridge lights, but those numbers are going to start to dwindle and be replaced by potentially some redfish hanging around. We've got a lot of trout too. We're seeing a lot of trout around dock lights and bridge lights in the early morning hours. Specifically, that north side of Johns Pass Bridge is pretty heavy, inundated with trout lately. John Sasser and the guys fishing on the jetty have been catching a lot of real nice trout in the early morning hours around here. Also, we're seeing a lot of trout in the back protected bay waters and those deeper flats. 5, 6, 7 foot of water is a good area to find those trout. It's a little cooler now, so we've seen the trout move around a little bit, but not much. Look for those deeper edges, those potholes, those areas where they can find a little bit of a deeper spot to hang out and ambush passing baits. We've seen an increase in the redfish action. Redfish are definitely a little bit more prolific. We've seen a lot more rain lately. That's brought with it a little bit of a cooler temperature. We've seen more cloud cover. Right now, it's almost got a chill in the air. It's right now 84 degrees, and that's very welcomed from the 96s that we've been seeing. So a little bit of cooler temperature is making those fish move around more. We're starting to see those redfish school up a little bit already, and that's very common. As we move into September, we'll see more of those redfish schools in the back protected and upper bay waters, and we'll see more of those big bull redfish kind of hanging out around our passes at times. Dead bait on the bottom, really working well. Cut pinfish, cut ladyfish, cut mullet, right up along those mangrove shorelines or along dock lines are going to be a great opportunity for some of those big bull reds and maybe even a big snook. Now, late season tarpon have been around pretty heavy. We had a big tarpon cruising the dock this morning, stocking John's Pass. We have some tarpon out around the bridges. Dead ladyfish on the bottom, great option for potentially a big snook or a big tarpon right now. Then also sharks too. The sharks have been super prolific and continue to be super active around the area. So if you want to try to catch a shark, right now is a good time to try to do it. Also, near shore, we're going to have Captain Frank talk a little bit about what we're doing on those 10-hour all days. We're on the precipice, on the doorstep of our fall season, my favorite time of year. Super light loads right now, 20, 25 people on average on these half-day and all-day trips. So super light loads, tons of room, and we're really starting to catch those hogfish, and it's only going to get better and better. So hopefully you'll get a chance to come out and join us for some big lane snapper, maybe a few nice mangroves, some black sea bass, maybe a hogfish or two, and then that hogfish bite's going to continue to improve. So Captain Frank's going to talk a little bit about that near shore fishing. I'll let him dive into that more. Then we've got a lot of offshore conversation from Captain Rich, Captain Pete, and Super J, one of our first mates. So hopefully you guys enjoy the fishing report. It's a great time to get out there. We're looking forward to gag grouper season opening up September 1st. We still got plenty of time for triggerfish. We're seeing mangrove snapper offshore. We're seeing lots of yellowtails. We're seeing a handful of muttons. We've got those blackfin tuna biting pretty well right now. Just a large variety of fish, super light loads, and a great opportunity to come out and have some fun in the sun with us at Hubbard's Marina. Don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy, hopefully we'll see you out there on the water soon. Remember, don't forget to check out our Bass Pro Shop seminar coming up August 27th at 2 p.m. That's this coming Sunday, August 27th, 2 p.m. We've got Final Friday, this Friday, August 25th from 6 to 9 p.m. And come out and see why Hubbard's Marina is rated the #1 fishing charter in the entire country. Come out and see why.
Hey guys, we're super duper excited now that we've finally got through red snapper season, which is awesome because now we can focus back on the hogfish, and we're seeing more yellowtail snappers than I've ever seen before off of John's Pass here. And we're catching mangrove snappers as well. Also, we've been getting a lot of the lane snappers, and you know, that really adds to your stringer. And we've been tackling up just kind of like we normally do for those lane snappers with the 4-ounce lead and the 4-aught circle hooks, and the shrimp are getting bigger too. That's a key point to getting back on those hogfish. All summer long we've been having these really small shrimp, but they've been getting a lot bigger, a lot nicer ones now, and we're able to focus a little bit more on them. And if somehow you can get your hands on some blue crab or any kind of you know, small swimming crabs, you know, legal ones, of course, I would totally bring them out on the all-day trip. And I think you'd find yourself getting on some hogfish with those. We've been catching a lot of fish right now, and it's been great. We have super light loads too. I mean, this is the time to come out if you don't want people next to you on your side, you know. And we're super excited to get out there and get back on those hogfish. Should be getting better and better throughout the course of the year, but we boated quite a few good ones there on our last trip.
Guys, Captain Rich here. Went out on Flying Up 2 yesterday, ended up red snapper season. Had a phenomenal trip, got our red snappers, triggerfish. We hooked up some amberjacks, the mangrove snappers, beeliners. Beeliners about 3 or 4 pounders. Really nice porgies. We got some gag grouper out there. We're looking forward to September 1st. We still, even though the red snapper and red grouper are closed during gag season, we're getting these mangroves out there. Captain Joe and myself have these areas where the mangroves and the beeliners are just coming up phenomenal, and the gag groupers have been showing up really good. It was funny, we had FWC out there, and we've noticed we haven't been bringing up any short gag groupers. they've all been of size, and we've gotten vented down, and Joe and myself know where to go. God willing, they're chewing, and we got some live baits down there. And the bycatch has been really good too, guys. So there are fish open besides, even though the red grouper, it's a little awkward this year with them closed. We still have the bycatches coming up pretty well. The 2 trips ago, we loaded up 3 coolers, 16 people. We had 150 vermilions and about 50, 60 mangroves. So please, come and support us, sign up. We'll get you guys out there. We'll get you on the fish.
Morning, guys. Super J Pete here, coming in on a 39-hour charter. Playing up a nice amberjack right here we caught. Waiting for September 1st for the gag season to open. Really looking forward to that. A lot of people are wanting to get out there and catch them gags.
Just finished up on our last red snapper trip.
Yep. So the gags, pretty much like live bait or cut bonita. Squid, not so much. Live bait's the key when you're fishing for gag groupers. Or if you get a fresh bonita strip, that's golden too.
Pinfish, Jay?
You can mix it up, but I like live bait. Grunts, pigfish, big pinfish, tom tates. If you can catch fish offshore on a reef and then bring them offshore about on 240 foot of water, that's the golden bait. So everybody's excited about that. We're catching a lot of mangrove snappers at night, some scamps, a lot of big beeliners, porgies, mixing it up. We got a couple blackfin tuna on this trip.
We had a lot of gags in the morning yesterday morning, so I feel very confident when the gags open that we're going to go out there and crush them. I'm looking forward to them personally.
So we're all looking for a good try.